How you doing? I'm Matt with 731woodworks.com. Today I'm going to share with you my top 5 woodworking projects that sell. So no matter if you're starting out woodworking as a beginner or if you've got a woodworking business already, you're wanting to make projects that sell, or you want to make woodworking items that sell, I'm going to share with you the top 5 that I've done well with, and hopefully you can too. There's going to be a playlist linked at the end of this video. It's also in the description below. That'll show you each project that I talk about. It's going to be a step-by-step video on how to build it. So you can actually go build this for yourself, sell it in your local area, and make some money. So obviously you're getting into woodworking, or you've been in woodworking and you want to sell projects and to make money, to help buy more tools, to buy more supplies, or just to have a little side hustle or be able to make some money on the side, or make it a full-time business. These items do really well. So I'll start with small projects and we'll go to large projects. Don't be intimidated if you see a table, a coffee table, things like that. You can build them. They're really not that complicated. They may look a little complicated if you're starting out, but if you watch my videos, I show you, I break it down step by step and show you how to build them. They're actually very simple. First project that has done very well for me is called a stove cover or a noodle board. You may not have ever heard of these. They've done very well for me. I've sold a couple of hundred of these so far. I make several per week. So they're fairly popular and they're easy to build, and they're small, so you can build several of them and not take up a lot of space. So you build them to the width and the depth of the stove with handles. They're perfect for people who don't use their stoves very much, or if you just need extra storage in your kitchen. They make great little items to store things on. You can move them off the stove when you're ready to use the stove and move them back when it's cooled off. That is a disclaimer I always tell people. They're made of wood, they'll burn, don't put them on a hot stove. So these things can come in many colors, they can come in many sizes and even depths. You can make them flat, you can make them 2 inches tall, 3.5 inches tall, which is a 1x4. They look really cool. They go great in farmhouse style kitchens, they go great in modern style kitchens. You can use them as TV trays, you can use them as ottoman trays, serving trays. You use them in a ton of different ways, and they sell very well. Stained, painted, doesn't really matter. All right, the second thing I want to talk about, number 2, are end tables. End tables have sold extremely well for me. It's one of the first things that I actually built and started after my outdoor furniture. I built some end tables and posted them for sale locally, and they sold. So I have a couple of different styles of end tables that I'll put in the playlist, from fairly decent size to very small ones. These end tables do very well. They're very easy to make. One of them is built only out of 2x4s with some 1x shelving in the bottom. Very easy to make. They can be for anywhere from 28 inches square down to 12 or 14 inches square. So they'll fit many different homes, different size spaces. If you're looking for these, they can be various heights, but most of them are a standard end table height. If you watch those videos, step-by-step instructions on how to make these end tables, and I think they'll sell well for you. So on the end tables, if you label those as farmhouse end tables, those seem to do well. I think that farmhouse label is very popular right now, and you can capitalize on that by labeling your items as a farmhouse end table or a farmhouse TV stand, that sort of thing. Number 3 on the list, coffee tables. Coffee tables do very well. They come in many sizes, many shapes. The ones I have in my playlist, you can build a really big square one. You can build a rectangle with the X chunky style. Those do very well. They're very popular items. They are larger, so they're going to take up more room. If you're building these to sell and you're going to post them online, have a place to store them indoors. So that may be something to consider. So a coffee table is very simple to build. Usually they're just all square cuts, or you don't have to worry about a whole lot of angles or being round or anything like that. These have been very popular for me in my area, especially the chunky style farmhouse coffee table, as well as the big square coffee table. You'll excuse that video if you watch the big square one. The music's a little loud. I was just getting into YouTube and learning how to do everything. Console tables or TV stands. A console table is something like a kitchen cart. Put it in the kitchen, they can put their appliances on it, or a coffee stand where they put their coffee makers on it. Got a couple shelves underneath for storage. These sell extremely well. I've had a lot of success with these. They're very beautiful. We have some in our home. We've used them in our home. I've sold a bunch of these to several different customers. They just look really nice. They're very easy to build, and they sell well. You can make them however tall you want, 32-inch counter height, 36-inch, 42-inch if you want a bar height one. They're easy to build, they're easy to customize for your customer. If you build one, especially if you do, what sells well for me is when you stain the top and the shelving and the whole frame's a different color, like a white color. Those usually sell very well because they're that contrasting color. They're very pretty, and a lot of people like that look. Some people use those as TV stands. I've made tons of TV stands as well. So if you're going to build a TV stand, I recommend those be custom ordered, or if you want to build one for yourself, and then you can post the pictures online that you have that skill, or put those in your portfolio, that's a good idea. So TV stand can be anything from a very simple square frame with hairpin legs. Those are very easy to build. You can step up to one that's open framed. It's got the open shelves on there that you can see with shiplap on the ends. Those are really, really nice. Build TV stands that have doors to cover up storage or media, things like that. All these TV stands that I've built have done very well. I like building those. It's a good challenge. Just like coffee tables, these are all square cuts, so they're very simple to build, and they look a little more complicated than they actually are. Last but certainly not least is the dog kennel. The indoor dog kennel, not just any dog kennel. Indoor dog kennels do extremely well. It's one of my top videos on YouTube, is how to build that dog kennel. It's also one of my most requested items on Instagram and other social media. I get tons of questions about those. I only sell them locally because shipping would be too much. So there's a market out there for these dog kennels. If you have a dog, you can build them in any style. You can build them small, like end table style. If you have a small dog, TV stand style, dog kennel / TV stand. They're basically combo furniture items that look nice. They don't look like a wire cage, and they give the pet a little more room than just a normal small kennel. Now, keep in mind, if you watch that video, the dog we used for pictures and video, he only went in there, took the picture, and come right back out. He never stayed in that kennel. That kennel was not for him. It was built for a customer. But these are very simple. I bought all of the items at a local lumber store. Rebar, 2x4s, 1x6s. Very simple to build, but they look so nice. And you can build them in several configurations, whether it be for one dog. You can put a divider in there and have 2 doors for 2 dogs, and it goes on from there. They're very, very popular. I think if you built a couple in your area, if you have a place to store them, because some of them can be large, you may start out with an end table style small square one, see how that does, and you may grow from there. Also, I recommend if you're going to sell these online, be sure and stage your items. What that means is you're going to put that table in place, or that TV stand in place, put a TV on it, or if it's an end table, put some decorations on there, put a cup on there, whatever. Make sure it looks nice, and then take those pictures. Staging will sell the item. So what woodworking tools do I recommend you get to build these projects? You're going to need a drill of some kind, maybe a drill and an impact, some type of saw, and I use pocket hole joinery on most of my projects. This is what I started with, the Craig R3. It's a very simple, you just clamp it on, it drills those angled holes, that's a pocket hole. And then you use their pocket hole screws for the size of material you're going to use. So this is about $40, $30, $40. It's very inexpensive to get started. It's a little more cumbersome because you have to clamp, and then you have to unclamp and move, clamp, unclamp, move. So, but I built a bunch of stuff with this starting out, and I still have it and still use it sometimes. You want to upgrade from there, the Craig K5 pocket hole jig. I have mine mounted on a board just because it's easier to move around. It keeps it all in one place. This is a very nice piece of equipment. It's made of all plastic, but it has a built-in clamp. And so you don't have to worry about trying to find your clamps and clamp it to the furniture. It adjusts to the size material you need right here. It's a very good tool to have, and it's about $130. So obviously you're also going to need some type of saw. I started out with a borrowed circular saw and 2 borrowed drills. I have a video on how I got started woodworking way back on the channel if you want to check that out. But you don't have to have a bunch of tools to get started. Obviously I started out with those simple tools, building those outdoor chairs from J Bates, and then I sold those and then continued on from there. So it's possible if you have patience and you start building items and post them for sale. You don't have to have a miter saw to do any of this stuff. I do use a miter saw now. Like I said, once I started making some money, I reinvested into my business and was able to buy tools. That took quite a while. Don't be in a big rush. Just build what you can with what you have. And once you continue to build up your tools and your skills, then you can keep going from there. It does take time. Just be patient. I'll drop a link in the description below to the pocket hole joinery and some drills and saws that I recommend. So let's talk about pricing your items to sell. Pricing your woodworking items to sell. This is always something that gets asked to me on social media. Somebody will send me a message and say, hey, how do you price this? Or what would you price this item at? Mostly going to depend on your market. If you live in a larger area, larger populated area versus a more rural area like myself, you may can charge a little bit more, but the cost of your materials may be more. I'm not sure. First thing I do is go and price my materials. I've been doing this long enough that every time I went to the lumber store and got a 1x4 or a 2x4 or a 2x6, I would keep it in my notes app how much that costs per board, whether it be an 8-foot board, 10-foot, 12-foot. If you can't do that, you can go to your local Lowe's, Home Depot, any of those big box stores and price that lumber. Just go down the aisle and just type in the price on a notes app. Keep that handy. You'll know about what it's going to cost you to build a certain item. So once you have the cost of the lumber or your materials down, now you're going to have to figure in how much time it's going to take you. When you first start out, you're going to have no idea how long it's going to take to make each piece. So you're just going to have to kind of guess yourself through this. So the outdoor chairs that I built and sold that I actually started with, the J. Bates chairs, I sold that set for $150 starting out. I didn't know how long it was going to take me. I didn't really know what I was getting into, but I was able to make a little bit of money over what I had spent on the material. And my time doesn't matter if you're starting out, not really, because you're learning a new skill. So that's actually a payment in itself that's going to pay off later. So once I sold a couple of sets of those, I upped the price on them because now I know how long it's going to take me. I know how much the material is exactly. And so I know that I need to make a little bit more money to stay profitable making those chairs. End tables, if you're building a small end table, it can go from $75 up to a bigger end table. You may charge $250 for one of those that are bigger. Depends on how much time, how much customization's in on those type things. Coffee tables, you're going to start pricing those about $350 is what I do. $350 and up, depending on how big the coffee table is and how much detail is going to be in that coffee table. Console tables, TV stands, things like that. So a console table, one of the first ones I built, I sold it for $175, which is way too low. But I learned a new skill, and now I know that I need to charge more than that. So start those out. I start those out at about $250 and go up. But that's just depending on your area. A more populated area, you're going to be able to charge a little bit more because you have more customers or more potential customers in that area. And so TV stands, a very simple TV stand. So one with hairpin legs and just basically a frame like the one we talked about earlier. It may go for $150, where one with doors and storage shelves, that thing, you know, it may go $400, or one that's a more farmhouse style with the shiplap on the ends, got a lot more detail. You may sell one of those for $650. It just depends on your area and the time and the size of the item. Dog kennel, if you want to sell one of those dog kennels, the first one, that one, I sold it for $350. I sold that thing dirt cheap, but I wanted the experience of building it. I wanted to be able to make a video on it. And so I've made up my money on that end. But if you're building those to sell, don't underprice yourself. Those are a lot of work. You can customize those in tons of different ways. I would suggest starting those out at about $450 and up, depending on the size. Stove covers, those things are all over the place. You decide what you want to charge for those. I started charging $65 when I first started out. That's a little cheap, but I was able to build several of them, get several pictures in my portfolio of different colors, different sizes, different styles, that sort of thing. Now I sell those locally. I'll sell them for $100. If I have to ship them, they're $130. These are my top 5 woodworking items that make money. You can sell these locally. You can ship some of these. I've not shipped any large item, but those stove covers can be shipped. Most of this stuff is going to be a locally sold item or within a general area if you want to deliver it. All these projects are made with simple tools. All these projects are very approachable. All these projects have been proven in my area to make you some money. I hope this helps you to further your business or your hobby. So don't forget to reinvest your money into tools and supplies. Once you make that sale, you can just start posting more pictures of everything you've built so far. Don't be intimidated if you post the item for sale and it doesn't sell within the first few days or the first week. Sometimes those things take a little time. Don't be shy about reposting it, asking others to share it for you. Those things help out a lot. Family and friends are going to help you out. If you have those in your area, that's going to help you out. They may actually buy something from you. Give them a little discount if you can. Now, I in no way can guarantee that these items are going to sell in your area. I'm just sharing what's worked well for me. And these items have always done well for me. These are my top 5 items. I have had other items that sell pretty well, but these are the top 5 that have consistently done well over the last several years. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out that playlist right there. That's going to take you to those top woodworking items that sell playlist. Each one is a step-by-step video build guide. Shows you how to build it. Hit that thumbs up for me and subscribe. Don't forget to share this on your social media. I'll give you a virtual fist bump.